Good morning and welcome back to Almus Market Mornings. The big overnight event was the Fed. As expected, rates stayed unchanged, but the new dot plot was more divided. Several policymakers now see little or no easing this year, while the median still shows two cuts in 2025. Markets barely budged, suggesting investors were well prepared for the wait and see message. A couple of central bank decisions are up next, the SNB and the Bank of England later today. One data point worth noting, though, is the US Treasury report for April shows foreign holding of treasuries near a record high. This is interesting in the context of the ongoing Sell America theme. And a quick housekeeping note, today is Juneteenth in the US, so no dollar payments will be processed here in India. Good morning, JK. How do you read yesterday's decision, and were you able to gather anything from Chair Powell's presser?
Good morning, Swaraj. Yeah, this is one meeting where the outcome was universally discounted, and even the statements were broadly in line with expectations. Powell gave no surprises in his speech as well. However, as you said, the summary of economic projections gave a sense of mixed expectations from the Fed members. They projected marginally higher unemployment and lower growth, but indicated lesser number of cuts in 26 and 27 compared to what they projected in March. While for 2025, they maintained two rate cut, but that was just by a slimmest margin of one member voting for it. And then the surprise was because inflation projection is steeper for 2025 versus the next 2 years. So it's difficult to, fathom two rate cuts in such a scenario. And also, as you rightly pointed out, several members don't even see a rate cut. So this time, instead of going by the median projection, I think it is market is looking at how various members react. So I think that in a way was a hawkish development for the market, no doubt. And in fact, Powell continues to be upbeat about the economy, called employment being on solid ground. Jobless rate remains at 4.2%, which is low by historical standards, and possibly transitory nature of tariff led price pressures. He even said that the oil price shock could be temporary; it won't last too long. So when he said that as long as we have the kind of labor market that we have right now and the inflation coming down, right, nothing to do on the rate. Rather, the right thing to do is to hold the rates. That's what he said. So that was the key point that the market held on. So in fact, there was a good observation on the tariff, which he said we have been through a situation, we have never been through a situation like this, and think we have to be humble about our ability to forecast. That's a very clear-cut statement that he has made. And also, so I would think that there were nothing to take away from this Fed meeting majorly, except that Fed remains on slightly cautious side about the rate cuts. So not I mean, maybe we finally end up with just one rate cut. Of course, we have to wait for a lot more data points. Market has to wait for more indicators, tariff progress, and perhaps what course the Gulf conflict also takes. In fact, someone has interestingly remarked they are receiving mixed signals, and so they're sending back mixed signals. So that's a very interesting observation that I saw. And I mean, when Fed is around, even Trump cannot be kept out. He said maybe I should go to the Fed, and am I allowed to appoint myself as the Fed? So that's the statement. So nothing much to take away from but overall the slight hawkishness in the statements and the projections lead to a dollar being stronger. On the war front, the supreme leader of Iran actually rejected Trump's demand for unconditional surrender. I mean, Trump was saying his patience had run out, and he gave a clue about what his next, although he gave no clue about what his next step would be. And then world waits a bit nervously about the next development. There are indications that U.S. War facilities are moving closer to Iran. There have been efforts by the European countries, Germany, France, Britain, and EU diplomats to hold nuclear talks with Iran counterpart on Friday in Geneva as well. No clear-cut indication. Of course, you will never get one until it happens. So we have to be prepared for some sort of uncertainty for some more time. Tariff negotiations, we had, the Canada official saying prospect of a new Canada-US trade deal offers more hope that tariffs will be removed. So it's a very big statement. It is made, very tall claim. Chancellor Merz from Germany also expressed hope for an agreement in US Euro tariff row in the coming days. So some sort of a positive indication from the tariff, side. On the economy, we had the jobless claims, weekly jobless claims that came at 2,45,000 versus 2,48,000 last week. And the continued claims also are elevated at 1.945 million. So we're now settling these claims number at a slightly higher range. Again, that's not something that seems to be changing the view of Powell that the employment situation is solid. So these numbers had to have to get a lot more worse for any market to assume that the employment situation is really worsening. As I said, dollar got some boost after Powell's statement, almost indicating that rates will be on hold for some more time. So even while market shows September and December rate cut, I think many in the market also doubt that. It's a mixed world, I would say, as far as expectations from the Fed and the economy is concerned. And why not? Because there are so many uncertainties. We don't know where tariffs will settle. We don't know how the Gulf War will end. So those kind of situations will not give for a clear-cut projections as well. Rupee, of course, before that, I mean, today we have two major central banks meeting. UK meeting unlikely to see any change despite core inflation data coming lower yesterday. SNB goes to zero in their rate decision. Minority expectation is for even 0.5%, which means their rate will go to negative again, just probably justified by lower inflation and also a super strong Swiss franc. So as I said, dollar got a boost, and in fact, we have been hinting at the dollar regaining some composure in the last few days in our update, because the dollar's been sold for quite long and looks a bit oversold. And as you also said that there's been renewed buying in US assets by global investors, so that perhaps is also hinting at some more strength in the dollar, which I would still call as a correction, because of the structurally US cannot have a very strong dollar as well. So I think Euro's correction can go to as low as 1.13 or slightly below that as well. Rupee gradual weakening trend has continued with the dollar gaining another 0.3% yesterday against INR. Buying dominating, sellers shying away as we make marginal new highs daily. Factors like Gulf War, higher oil price, and tariff uncertainties have been weighing on the rupee, even as the dollar index has been inching up, as I said, in a correction. In fact, the dollar index expected to gain further will keep the rupee on the weaker side, no doubt. And the next key level to watch would be 86.75. Looking forward to a quieter day today in the absence of US. But then I think the war situation will not wait for a US holiday. So we just have to be on our toes anyway. Thank you.
Thank you, JK. And it seems very interestingly, President Trump is trying to upgrade his CV by offering interest for the role of Fed chair. So that was something funny, I
Yes.
would say. And Powell also remains upbeat about the economy in his presser. He says there's nothing to do with rates, and he has dropped the odd pearl of wisdom, unprecedented times. So we need to be humble about the ability to forecast. He's always been a man of wisdom. Even in his speech for a college graduation, he has been one of those people.
Is it?
Geopolitically, EU is trying to hold nuclear talks with Iran. While US contemplates on the level of involvement. On the currency front, dollar remains somewhat bid after yesterday's meeting. For the rupee, we are seeing the gradual weakening trend, and dollar buying has been somewhat strong when it comes to the USD INR pair. That's it from us today. Thanks for listening. We will catch up tomorrow with the latest updates from the financial markets. Thanks for listening.